And we're back for another edition of the Pop Culture Cosmos. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. How is everybody out there? It's great to be a part of your listening audience. As far as that's concerned, we do truly appreciate you listening out there. We are once again available on the Podcast Radio Network. We're right now currently the number one show on Monday nights on the Podcast Radio Network, and it truly isn't there's just no other reason to say it. It's all because of you out there. So we truly appreciate it. Check us out also as well on the Tangent Bound Network, the ESO Network, the Gonna Geek Network, Mixcloud, Google Play, iTunes, podcast.com, and Stitcher, which is just a great lineup of audio outlets on there for you. And obviously we're going to try and throw some bonus content for those who download the show as well. So we truly appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, for everyone out there who wants to know where we're at and wants to know more about all the great stuff, go to the Podcast Radio Network, like their Facebook page so you get the update on all their daily shows going on every single day. Plus also as well, the ESO Network, the Tangent Bound Network, and the Gonna Geek Network. They have a great lineup of stuff going on there as well. So like their Facebook pages as well. So we have had a busy week as far as it's concerned. We've got a great episode for you lined up. But first, my main man in crime is here, Mr. Josh Pederson, author of Vendetta Dark, and also as well the upcoming Congratulations, You Suck, and also as well the director of Ghost Toasters and man in the know regarding the NHL All-Star Game. How are you, my friend?
I am fantastic. I feel like I need my own theme music because you build my reputation up to be so epic.
Absolutely, indeed. Well, you had a very busy weekend indeed covering the NHL All-Star Game with our good friend Charles Smith from Inside Sports. So we truly appreciate. How can someone see all the footage that you guys covered on Inside Sports, for the NHL All-Star Game?
As it just so happens, it is up on Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook page right now, and there will be more joining it tomorrow. But you can watch it there. You can watch it on YouTube. I'm not sure what Charles is doing with it on Inside Sports. I just kind of film things and put it up on my pages. So I will let you guys know when I find out.
Sounds good indeed. So that's a lot of footage there from the NHL All-Star Game. If you are a hockey fan indeed, check that out as well. So there's been a couple big announcements, I guess, within the pop culture universes as far as this past week is concerned. And the first one I want to touch on is the upcoming Star Wars Episode VIII. And yes, it's still several months away. We know it's coming in December and all that. But the title was announced as far as it's concerned. The title, well, of course, drum roll please, it's going to be The Last Jedi. Not Return of, but The Last Jedi. So I ask you, Josh, you've had some time to think about what's going on in regards to The Last Jedi. What do you think The Last Jedi is going to be?
See, Star Wars has had this thing where they've never been really vague about what their movies mean. So you have A New Hope, which was obviously Luke Skywalker, Empire Strikes Back, which was about the Empire striking back, then Return of the Jedi, which was about the Jedi returning. So I think with this new title, we're looking at people are kind of looking too much into it. I think The Last Jedi is going to be Luke Skywalker, but he won't truly be the Last Jedi. He's just kind of the jumping off point for more Jedis to come. And they've interviewed the director, and he's actually said that we are going to see the makings of a new generation of Jedi. So I think that the title, The Last Jedi, is just supposed to be like an indication that Luke Skywalker is, in fact, the Last Jedi. And I hope we get some backstory on, what he's been doing for all these years.
I hope so as well. And, The Last Jedi doesn't have to be a singular thing. It could be a group thing as far as, let's say that it could be more than one. Could be Daisy Ridley's character, along with obviously Mark Hamill's character, but you never know what it might be. I have a feeling The Last Jedi to me is going to be more of a plural signification myself, because just making it The Last Jedi, and even if it is, considered just Mark Hamill, I think it's still just easy to say that they might revive the Jedi even at some point in time, even if he has an untimely demise.
See, the people are talking about that. Like the big question here is weird because the big question doesn't really have anything to do with the story. It's more, I've gone on so many forums this week looking at what is the plural of Jedi.
And there is, what is the plural of Jedi? It's Jedi. It's right there in a nutshell, and it's right there in a nutshell indeed. It's right there for you as far as it's concerned. A bunch of stuff that's out there as far as theories and what's going on, and that's great indeed. But the Last Jedi definitely means to me that there's still more than one Jedi remaining. So definitely something to look forward to indeed. Definitely something that we can speculate more on as the months go on and months come in as far as it's concerned. So the other major announcement I wanted to touch on with you real quick was Marvel and Square Enix announced that they have gone into a partnership as far as going in on making, well, more games as far as within the Avengers universe. That could lead to another number of things. I know Crystal Dynamics had announced, which is the makers of the Tomb Raider reboots, as far as it's concerned. As far as the number one thing that they're talking about is, and what was in their trailer was a game, as far as it's concerned, announced that they're developing within the Avengers universe. It could also mean that they're adding it on to one of the most popular things that's out there, and that's Kingdom Hearts. So, Josh, I ask you, what are your thoughts on the new Square Enix Marvel partnership?
I'm excited about it, but the trailer was kind of frustrating. They didn't give any detail about it. It's like that what was that teaser they put up for Pirates of the Caribbean this week that was 8 seconds long, and all it did was zoom in on the poster.
Exactly. Yes, it did. and this one just showed, as far as the trailer, it went through just the various iconic, weapons that the Avengers carry, like Captain America's shield, Thor's hammer, and the like. So obviously it didn't lead much into it, speculating as far as what type of game it's going to be or anything. It just, showed that the Crystal Dynamics, the makers of the Tomb Raider reboot, is going to be actually involved in making a new Avengers game.
Yeah, it was your typical Avengers advertising, but I'll play it. I'm excited. I mean, the prospect of a Final Fantasy Deus Ex-esque type of superhero game is really intriguing to me. And Marvel hasn't really had a great game come out since Ultimate Alliance. They've had all these movie tie-ins and like these little Nintendo Wii games, but it just nothing is really like hit with gamers since Ultimate Alliance, and even Ultimate Alliance 2 was kind of a flop. They're trying to recapture that glory. So I think that if they want to make a game like that, I think putting it in the hands of Square Enix is a really great idea. I just want to know more about it, and that's what was frustrating to me, was they had this cool trailer that was pretty much like the same exact trailer for most of the Avenger movies, but it's there's no detail. There's no anything about what the story might be or what it might look like. It's just is your typical E3 cinematic trailer.
Indeed, that really didn't show much of anything, because obviously for me it's a sign that the game is early in development. The deal was made in recent, as opposed to maybe a year or two down the line. So I'm just glad to see the actual Marvel universe being utilized once again, outside of just the Capcom versus Marvel, world, because that new Marvel versus Capcom is in development as well from them. But it's good to see a new adventure or fighting game or some type of game that's going to be third-person, actioneer, some type of game that's going to be developed by Crystal Dynamics, most likely, if it's anything rooted from the Tomb Raider reboots indeed. So, Josh, we've got definitely a great episode coming at us right here. You've got a lot to talk about. I know I've got Anthony Barberin coming on here in a few in regards to his thoughts on the NBA season so far and what to look forward to the rest of the season. Also, as well, I'm going to be talking to Christian Zamudio, Zamurai Chris, for an esports update. And then Chris Bonner finishes it off with his update on what happened at the Royal Rumble and where it leads to as far as the road for WrestleMania. Josh, while I have you here, and before we head on out to a break, I know you also want to talk about Hyperschmidt. Well, we've got a single from them as well, but also what else we've got cooking on for Humanican and Pop Culture Cosmos.
Yeah, look out for Humanican Media is something I've been working on in partnership with Pop Culture Cosmos, and it's going to have, when it launches, you will have a full lineup of a podcast and original programming that you'll be able to see, which will also be available on Pop Culture Cosmos. So you don't have to go looking hard for any of this stuff, but and a lot of it will be added on as little bonus things here and there. But it's coming soon. I'm working on it. It's just, I got a lot going on. Congratulations, You Suck is still in the works, and the next episode of Ghost Toasters. So stay tuned.
Definitely, indeed. You are a busy man, so I know you're going to be back to the editing bay as soon as we head to a break here. So we truly appreciate you taking the time to be with us on again. And Josh, just, best of luck as far as everything, and we hope to be talking to you on next week's program.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And as we head on to the break, let's go and hear another great song from our good friends at Hyperschmidt. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos.